Good morning and happy Thursday, everyone. So, before I begin, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Let's see. What is my low? I guess I was kind of feeling the strain of yesterday being my grandfather's birthday. And, I think it really hit me just how sad it really was when I saw my mom yesterday, and I asked how she was doing, and she had already broken down at least once crying over it. So, but as the day went on, we all got better, we all moved on, and I made a nice tribute to my grandfather on Facebook, and I showed it to my mom, and she really liked it. And, let's see. My high is the fact that, yesterday, I know I say that my high is always done with my family a lot, but yesterday I really felt like it hit home for me. Just because, it really was a somber day yesterday. Plus, we got Manir subs for dinner. Manir subs. Let's see. So, and the Masked Singer came back. How could I forget that the Masked Singer came back? I watched the Masked Singer last night. Season 10 is now truly officially underway, and it was awesome. Let's see. And my acts of kindness were, I emptied the dehumidifier for my father. I brought in the garbage for my folks. Yesterday was garbage day. What else did I do? That was actually about it. So, yeah, I have an NFL pick to make, and I have to talk about the Masked Singer. So, let's see. What is the game for today? Let me get to my notes. Oh, the Lions versus the Packers. Frankly, I have the Lions winning the division, so, yeah. I'm totally picking the Lions tonight. That's a winnable game for them. And speaking of things that are winnable, let's talk about the Masked Singer last night. Because I was watching it with my folks. And, technically, this is, it's not really the second episode of this season, but I think a lot of people are going to market it as the first episode of the season, so I guess I have to refer to it as that. And I need to, first of all, give major props to the panel of judges, because their outfits for this season premiere were amazing. Seriously, they were. Particularly Jenny and Jenny Wahlberg's dress and Nicole Scherzinger's dress. My nephews love pink and yellow respectively, so they would have loved seeing them. My twin nephews do. My youngest one, we're not really sure what his favorite color is. So, I have to play that one by ear, I suppose. And, every single guest that came out, every single contestant that came out, it was in the aura of a huge introduction. Every single time someone was about to come out, the lights got dim, music was building up, lights were flashing, getting ready for them to come out. They really were trying to make every single opening to that of a big Broadway, big old show. And it was phenomenal. We're 10 seasons in. Y'all better be upping your game for this. And they did. Speaking of game, it looks like they're going back to the original style of having, X number of singers perform that night, and then someone gets voted off. So I think they're going to be doing this in groups, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, the Battle Royale style of several singers, like 3 singers go in, and one goes out at the end of the episode, and only one doesn't get unmasked at the end of the episode, and then that masked singer moves on to the next week where they have to go against 2 other contestants. And then they, the game of survival that they were doing, it was a lot of fun. And it made for 2 of the best seasons I think I've ever seen of The Masked Singer, seasons 8 and season 9. With Harp and Medusa being 2 of the greatest winners of The Masked Singer ever. But I think I'm glad they're going back to, the style of having, in this case, 5 singers perform, and one of them gets one gets unmasked. So in a way, it's still the game of survival, just the stakes aren't high, I suppose. And from the very beginning, you had Giselle, who did Uninvited by Alanis Morissette. She was really good. The Diver did Any Way You Want It by Journey, which, why did I think The Who did that song? I don't know. But The Diver was really good. The S'more did Slow Hands by Niall Horan, which I will admit, I don't know. I mean, I know who Niall Horan is. I watched The Voice. He was on Hot Ones. I know who Niall Horan is. I just had no idea, Slow Hands was his song. Which shows how much I pay attention to that stuff. The Rubber Ducky did Come On Eileen by Dexy Midnight Runners, which I love that song. The performance, though, yeah, it's pretty obvious the Rubber Ducky was going to get unmasked. And finally, the Cow. I'm not kidding, there was a cow. Who did, Bones by Imagine Dragons. Okay, I gotta talk about the cow for a second. Because, whenever the contestants are talking about their clues and trying to give people ideas as to who they are, obviously they disguise their voices by giving, a high pitch, a low pitch, or whatever. Cow's disguised voice sounded exactly like a woman. So, needless to say, both my mom and I especially were freaked out when it turns out that the cow was clearly a dude. Which, I mean, yeah, there are male cows, but they're referred to as steers. Cows are, when people think of cows are usually the female steers. So, I guess it might be someone of the LGBTQIA plus community underneath that mask. I don't really know. So, further study will be needed on this. But, I just mentioned that Rubber Ducky got unmasked. But even all the performances were great. Even Rubber Ducky's. But again, somebody had to get unmasked. And it was the Rubber Ducky, as I just said before. So, listen, as a longtime fan of The Masked Singer, of course I get a kick out of any of the crazy guesses that, Ken has. They're horrible, and yeah, the audience has every right to boo him. But obviously he's trying to play a bit. And it works for me. I'm stuck with that kind of stuff. And it's not like Ken's wrong all the time. He has been right several times in the past. But he's never gotten it right this early. Yes, Ken Jeong actually guessed who the Rubber Ducky was correctly. Which, I find both heartwarming and hilarious. Because every time Ken ever gets something right, it really looks as if like a kid wakes up on Christmas morning and sees a whole bunch of presents. You know what I mean? Like, it is just the best. It is. And sure enough, the person who was the rubber ducky was the person that Ken guessed, right? And it was Anthony Anderson. And can I just say, Anthony Anderson really has come a long way. Like, I remember in like the early 2000s, he was like he was funny, and he was in like a whole bunch of movies, but the movies he was in were not very good. Like, My Baby's Daddy, that was not a very good movie. Kangaroo Jack, good God, that was not a very good movie. But whenever you see the trailers for those movies, they really hyped up Anthony Anderson as like the funny guy in those movies. And yeah, Anthony Anderson is the funniest part of any movie he's in. But I'm really glad that he's trying to do better stuff. I'm really glad that he's in more things that are good. And kudos to the fact that he lost a bunch of weight too, obviously. That's awesome. I mean, I think he had type 2 diabetes. I don't know if he still has it. I mean, here's the thing. With type 2 diabetes, like, you can get type 2 diabetes, but you can actually get rid of it if you just lose. Usually it's when you lose a bunch of weight. But I don't really know the process behind that is. By that I mean, I don't know if he still has it or not. But, good on him. And, yeah, his performance was clearly the weakest of all 5 contestants. But it's not like it was bad. Okay, it was a little bad. But it was still entertaining. And again, the icing on the cake was that Ken got it right. So, yeah. I thought this was an exceptional season premiere of The Masked Singer. And it's only going to get crazier from here. Although, let's see. Let me check the notes here. Well, so far it looks like they only have the first 2, okay, never mind. I read something wrong, but that's not the case. So it looks like the only thing we know about, the next episode going forward is going to be NFL night, which, I mean, judging on the theme, there's plenty of sports songs that somebody can do, that anyone can perform. I am more than willing to bet that one song we're going to get next week is Center Field by Creedence Clearwater Revival. I mean, again, I presume that I know NFL is football, but I wouldn't be surprised if they really made it, sports themed. And Center Field is a great sports song. I don't really know much else. But I have to say, so far, I'm digging this first season of this season of The Masked Singer. I mean, we made the 10 seasons in, guys. That's awesome. I can't believe. In a way, I can kind of believe it. I mean, The Masked Singer was a runaway hit when it first aired back in 2019. It was early 2019 when it first came on. And look where we are now, 10 seasons in. Honestly, my one legit regret is when I first moved into this apartment, we didn't have any cable or anything set up. So I pretty much missed the entirety of The Masked Singer of season 2. Season 2 of The Masked Singer. But, you know, I did see the finale because that was when I finally got cable. And, yeah, I saw Wayne Brady win it all as the Fox. He's Wayne Brady. He's awesome. But I'm glad that every other season I've been doing videos on. And I'm going to continue to do that until, I don't know, maybe they stop doing this show. I mean, look, anything is possible. There have been plenty of shows that have gotten great reviews, got millions of people watching, and have lasted a long time, but, you know, they eventually get canceled. But I don't think that'll happen to The Masked Singer, though. I mean, listen, The Masked Singer takes place on Fox. And if we've learned anything from The Simpsons, is that good shows, no matter how long they last or how stale they might get, don't die. Although, unfortunately, there are some bad shows, Family Guy, that are still on, and that's not necessarily a good thing. But The Masked Singer, Season 10, that is a good thing. I hope y'all like this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys watching Joe today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thursday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk channels, we're here to lend you nose your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.